For this video I'm going to go into detail about the more traditional TARDISes built following the demilitarization after the first Great Time War in Heaven, leading up to the final TARDISes, Peacetime TARDISes, before the second Great Time War in Heaven as featured in the 8th Doctor Adventures. I'm not going to go over every TARDIS, I'm just going to go over each of them in turn, detailing important changes in the overall designs. Type 15s were the first to have a default silver grey metallic cube as their exoshell, which was the smallest exoshell yet. It was 3 meters by 3 meters by 3 meters. The Type 18 was the first to include a fully functional chameleon circuit, although it did have numerous problems. The Type 22s were the first to include cloister bell alarm systems, which you should be hearing now. The Type 25s were the first modern TARDISes, as in they were the regular peacetime model and were built as mobile research platforms, science vessels as opposed to the earlier warships. They were the first to include an independent copy of the Prime Eye of Harmony for its power source. The Type 28s improved on previous designs with a zero room for post-regenerative recovery and machine shops for repairs. Type 32s were the first to include voice controls in case the pilot was incapacitated and unable to operate the physical console. They were the first capsules that had a definite gender. Type 38s were the first to include the hostile action displacement system. Type 40s were most well known given that the Doctor pilots a heavily customised version, allowing for time travel sideways, backwards and forwards in time to any planet at any date in a planet's existence. They are equipped with chaotic limiters, able to adjust the crew's reality quotient to 3. While using the chameleon circuit, instructions had to be entered in machine code rather. Regular chameleon conversions are necessary to prevent glitches wherein the TARDIS defaults to a single form, a la the Doctor's TARDIS. 305 capsules were grown, but only 304 were officially mothballed. The Doctor's TARDIS was officially removed from the registry by the Celestial Intervention Agency. The Doctor's TARDIS also features an inbuilt Validium weapons unit. When in use, a dull brass spike extends from the main console, releasing a set of concentric rings as a targeting lure. When fired, the burst of energy could destroy whole asteroids or, at max burst, whole sectors of a galaxy. It is unknown whether this was installed generally onto all TARDISes or whether this was a feature put in place by the Doctor's TARDIS's previous owner, Castellan Marnell. The Type 41s were the only notable due to they were recorded due to design faults. Iris Wildtime's TARDIS was likely one of these types. The Type 45s were an improved model, notable in the fact that the Master's original craft was one of this type, but it would later evolve on her own to become Lolita, the Type 101 TARDIS, and ironically a later enemy of the Master during his term as President during the Second Great Time War in Heaven. More information will be on the Time War video. The Type 65s, known as Secure Recon TARDISes, as they were commissioned with the CIA, Celestial Intervention Agency. For these requirements, the chameleon circuit problems prevalent with the past models was finally addressed, ceasing the need for regular chameleon conversions. It also had the ability to take the form of a statue and use it to walk and move around. The Master had stolen one of these craft during his attempt to attain the source on Traken. The Type 70s were highly successful, resulting in the decommissioning of earlier models that included many features such as a telepathic lock, eliminating the need for a key, and the ability to pause the materialization for 2 microspans, as Romana explains here.
Pause, K9.
I have no pause.
Pause the materialization. New feature of the Type 70A. I've been dying to find a use for it.
Pause decays in 2 microspans, mistress.
Is that all? What was the point of that? What a useless feature.
The The Type 70s could also be refitted into battle TARDISes, not to be confused with war TARDISes later used during the Time Wars. The weapons included time warp silos, capable of breaching a TARDIS's defences and freezing the crew in time, and null-space missiles capable of attacks even when protected by Time Lord transport barriers. They were launched from time warp silos, which caused a halo effect around the TARDIS's exochronoplasmic shell. Type 89s were the last traditional TARDIS capsules to be developed, and were allowed to develop and mutate more independently into other subspecies, as it were, within the type. Eventually, so many different variants were in operation that the Council forcibly standardised the ships under the Type 89 banner. With the shadow of the Second Great Time War in Heaven approaching, the Time Lords ceased production of non-military ships into wartime production. As noted by the small number of modifications for 10 years, up until time. In fact, shortly before the Doctor's time, after 10 million years, the Type 40s were velated, and over the Doctor's lifetime saw the development and implementation of finally improving upon his features. This has been suggested to be retroshocks due to the encroachment of the Time War sending ripples back through time. Next week I will be going over the ships of war from the second final Great Time War in Heaven as well. Like, comment or share. Please.